What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jay Renee with Prison Ride Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This morning we got a brother back we haven't talked to in a while, Brother Shaka Shakur. We're going to catch up with him, find out what's going on presently, get some updates, and things of that nature. So let's jump right in there. What's up, brother? Good morning.
I'm maintaining that the man is continuing to struggle for to fight the good fight.
Okay.
You know,
It's been a
still
while.
up here. Yeah, it's been a while. Kind of been bogged down in the legal arena, trying to fight my case. Trying to work my way through some courts in terms of addressing the little hate crime, personal attack that took place up here December 21st, 2021. And just been a little hectic again. We stay locked down periodically from time to time, right?
Right. Well, first, let me ask you, how are you healing from that attack?
I mean, I'm dealing with some personal traumas in terms of some emotional, psychological issues. You never forget that. Still being here on the same prison, on the same compound, having to look at and deal with the people that was part of the attack. And ain't no consequences or accountability. So it's like you're being victimized all over again.
Right.
And they were supposed to transfer me. I beat the charges that they originally set me up here for. I was found not guilty because I found out the charge was false. The person that initiated the confrontation charges, instead of being fired, was allowed to resign at the Green Rock Correctional Institution. And so I, just trying to work my way through the system and deal with it.
Understood. So, tell us more about what's going on. Like, what's the beat?
Well, basically, one of the things that I want to talk about is accountability. Like since my incident, I've discovered that it's numerous prisoners, black and white, but primarily black, that's been also victims of beatings and assaults. We just had an incident where a K9 top dog was used on a prisoner after he surrendered. Somebody that was on their hate list. A person that was on their hate list, their enemy list, and got in a fight with another prisoner, and although he was on the ground, surrendered, a mentally challenged prisoner, they put the dog on him. The dog ate him up, lost a lot of blood. There's numerous incidents like that. It's numerous incidents of different prisoners that's been taken into restricted housing unit and assaulted while handcuffed and shackled with accident. And there's no accountability. So what we want to be pushing is, we want to know how is it that in this region, southwestern region, that despite repeated complaints and despite repeated court filings, that there is no accountability for use of excessive force and assaults by officers and use of K9 dogs in non-lethal situations, and there's no accountability. As well as how is it that repeated complaints can be filed where staff members can troll prisoners inside and outside of prison, online, inside the prison with false information, or what have you, use alleged the so-called gamers and whatnot, to assault other prisoners, attack other prisoners, harass other prisoners, etc., and there's no accountability. From the headquarters of Richmond, the Virginia Department of Corrections, or from the Ward Department. So it's like this been going on for years and years and years. There's constant complaints, and we have found cases where some officers have one or two here have been charged or whatnot. That's a part of court records and documentation where prisoners have been, bones have been broken, fingers have been broken, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, the culture continues with it. The attitude is, this is River North, motherfucker. Right. We don't care about, excuse the language, but that's the attitude. That's the statement. This is River North. We don't care about this. This is what we do. We do what we want to do.
Right.
And there's no accountability. And so in my case, even though I filed a criminal complaint against one of the officers that I had identified that was involved, and went before the magistrate court, the magistrate told me out of Montgomery County where there's insufficient evidence. The Special Investigation Unit of Richmond, the Virginia Department of Corrections, turned over an incomplete file, and therefore I don't have enough evidence to substantiate bringing charges against these officers. There's no video, there's no pictures, etc. And then turned around and contradicted this same statement by saying, well, I do have a video showing you where you was being escorted and you had your glasses on, and then you was being, and then later in the video you didn't have your glasses on no more. Yeah, because they beat my ass and I took the glasses came off. That's why later in the video, the part that you don't see, you're supposed to no longer have glasses.
Right.
You know, and then you state that the reports state that, and the witnesses state that, well, you ran your head into the wall and you was upset. You was saying that you can't take this no more. And you were suicidal, et cetera, et cetera. One, I've been locked up over 20 years. I've been doing time over 39 years. I have no history of mental health issues. I have no issue of, no history of, well, I won't say mental health, but no history of suicidal attempts, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? So if I was doing all this by being escorted by 7 guards, shackled, handcuffed, in the waist chain, and black box, what was the staff doing while I'm running my head into the wall? You know, why wasn't I placed on suicide watch? Why wasn't I placed in observation cell? Why wasn't my clothes taken? Why wasn't I seen my mental health? You see what I'm saying? Because it never happened. And if you pull these cases up, it's a part of court documentation. This is a consistent narrative in terms of their response to allegations of being beaten or brutalized or abused, that he did it to himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, black folks, this is in our DNA. You know, like I said, my head attack, you know, batons, belly club, we slip our own necks and nooses, put our own D's on our necks and everything else. You know, that's always the narrative when it comes to oppressive authority. And there's no different here.
That's crazy.
You know? And so I've been getting a lot of little repression, a little harassment, because oftentimes people that are victims of hate crimes up here are either left on the compound or their security level is increased and they're sent to Red Onion Prison or Wallace Bridge Prison, which is higher level 5 security prison, where often these people's relatives work or they got their good old boy network or whatnot. And so you go up there and you get the same abusive, more extreme version treatment.
Right.
You know, so while I was told, because I'm an interstate compact prisoner, when I was told by the interstate compact department, well, if you in the ward, if you are not found guilty of these charges, we'll do a 6-month review and put you back into security level, which was a medium security, which is a level 3. When it came time for that, even though I was found not guilty of the charges, I was told, if you got your points high enough, well, you need stable adjustment. The warden called me out and told me personally, well, we got some concerns about you retaliating. If you agree that you're not going to retaliate, we're going to let you go to population. We're not going to retaliate, harass, not going to allow any harassment, et cetera. This was Warden Anderson, et cetera. They ain't stand on that shit. That's all they've been doing since I've been here.
You running their mouth.
Go ahead.
Just running their mouth.
Yeah, especially since, you know, they see that I'm pursuing it, you know, through our various support networks. Because I'm pursuing it in court, I'm filing paperwork, I'm challenging it and everything else, right? So anytime that you know, jailhouse lawyering or you can file grievances or whatnot, the narrative is always that, you know, you hide, you snitching on the police, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? This is what's being pushed. Then you have female officers such as Sergeant Frazier and others, Martin or whatever, who's digging into your shit or following your people online, Facebooking and all kind of crazy shit. And, you know, and promote that shit. And there's no accountability.
So following them online to do what? To harass them?
Well, it's because you can go into what you do, you engage in psychological warfare. So now you go online and say you get your friend list, so you know who's one wife is, you know who one daughter is, you know who one sister is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You release personal information just so you can give it to your little snitch network and your collaborators to then lay here what we call peacocking the pod or peacocking it, just for overhearing or whatever, about for releasing personal information about your family or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it's all psychological warfare. It's all designed to distract you and pull you off the track that you are or provoke you into a situation where you can be neutralized. See what I'm saying? So now you get into a verbal confrontation or physical confrontation with a staff member and whatnot. You go into the whole, your security level gone up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So now you can't your paperwork come up missing, your court documents, your lawsuit papers, and everything else come up through transport and everything else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This neutralizes your effectiveness. Because
Right.
now you don't have access to the phone like you did. You don't have access to the emails where you can send and receive emails, etc. So you will technically call what they call you've been removed out. You out the way.
Right.
Old tactic. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they do, and that's the wave up there. That's the culture in a lot of these facilities. The brothers just prisons that's not conscious or that's less conscious. You know what I'm saying? Or don't challenge oppressive authority or conditions of confinement. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cells have been manipulated for opportunistic and self-serving reasons, and that's how they run the system. It's divide, conquer, and rule. You know. And one of the things that need to be asked, we're trying to get people like the things that that's being pushed now, is being looked into. We need an oversight committee, an independent committee that can come into these institutions and interview any prisoners they want to, and also investigate conditions of confinement or allegations of abuse. And why are these dudes? They got a unit down here, Jay, with dudes who's mentally challenged, under mental health supervision and study. And they down there jumping on these dudes. They beating the shit out these dudes. You putting the K9 dogs on these dudes. You can't. An incident happened the other day. You can just release a fucking dog into the unit in the pod. You know what I'm saying? Why are K9 dogs being used in situations that's non-lethal or where weapons is not involved or nobody's life is in danger? So we trying to get people to file FOIA, Freedom of Information requests. We want statistics released on these type of incidents.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely need that. They need definitely an advisory board that has nothing to gain or lose, that's independent from all of this shit.
Yeah, and why are they not required to wear body cams?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why are they not required to be piss tested? So forth. You come in here, move, swinging, and engaging in all kind of unprofessional activities, and so forth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you. Why is it that the same people that's involved in incident after incident involving excessive force and beatings of prisons or whatnot, and they still have access to, they still in positions or assigned the post to have access to interaction with prisons, etc.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
You know, and then soon an incident develop where you respond or you retaliate or whatever. Now you caught up, which is what they want you to do, because now you effectively neutralize and they can justify, doing whatever they choose to do.
Which is some bullshit.
See what I'm saying? And how is it that you can list allegations of certain officers and so forth that repeatedly engage in unprofessional or unethical conduct, you know what I'm saying, in violation of their own policies and statutes. And these people is not reassigned. There's no real investigation. There's a perfunctory investigation. You got people coming here every day that engage in all kind of provocative shit. You speaking on shit, you lying, you passing out false information or whatever, you know what I'm saying, about phone calls or emails or whatever to try to agitate and provoke other prisoners. And you use other prisoners to attack other prisoners, you understand, jailhouse lawyers, whatever, it's on your enemy list or hate list, and there's no accountability. They not charged, they don't get nothing unless you take it upon yourself.
That shit ridiculous.
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so when the public see this, so forth, so if you take matters into your own hands, and the public see this, the first thing they think, well, damn, why he do that? But you don't understand the backstory. Yeah. And up here in this particular facility, these people's out of control. It's a tradition, and it's a culture. You disappear, male. You know what I'm saying? You assault prisoners, et cetera, and the shit's being covered up. And how is it that, like I said, you got these different activists and different groups and networks in the state, but how is it that this shit has been going on for so long and there's no accountability within the court system? It's the same argument. He did it to himself. Lost video footage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Covering up their lies with no accountability. Why should they change? Ain't nobody checking their hand.
And the perpetrators brag about it.
I can only imagine.
You know what
Of
I'm
course
saying?
they would. That's what sadists do.
Yeah, and they brag about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I walk in the shop, whatever, they'll make statements. Oh yeah, ain't no evidence. Oh, the evidence disappeared. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to provoke. You know.
That's a heavy, bruh. That's a lot.
You know.
How do you keep yourself together?
I mean, to me, for the most, I work out, but the other part of it, me, I just use that as energy to continue to push on. The more you press, the more I'm gonna push. The more you press and call yourself, putting your boot and your foot on my neck, I'm gonna continue to organize. I'm gonna continue to network. You can call it, they call it investigating. Oh, he investigating this, he investigating. You can call it what you want. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you understand? If the shoe was on the other foot, you'd be fighting for your rights too. You'd be doing the same thing.
You have 1 minute remaining.
See what I'm saying? You know, so I'm securing who I am. I'm securing what I represent. I don't allow the opposition to validate me, and I don't allow the reactionary to validate me.
That part.
And by now they should know that ain't gonna work.
What can we do to support you?
We gonna push. Like I said, we gonna push for human rights and Department of Justice civil rights investigation for one. We want to promote the fact that these people is in violation of the human rights and fundamental rules of treatment of prisoners. You know, so we want to recruit and request attorney support for the legal community. Attorneys, we need attorneys to get involved that's not afraid to challenge the state and fight for our rights. And we need exposure. We need this information to get out. Yeah, we have access to a limited amount of resources, you know what I'm saying? And then we have support of the National Lawyers Guild and some other legal organizations that's willing to put up for some funds and whatnot to hire attorneys and whatnot to pursue perhaps a class action or some instance of individual suits when you have incidents that's been extremely egregious. And as I was saying before, like for example, the fact that you have a building here, which is A building, and pods, and just mental health pods, and you're brutalizing mentally challenged prisoners. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be getting some type of mental health treatment or whatnot. They might have disciplinary issues. Like on August 27th, for example, I was held in the infirmary waiting to go out for surgery. They took a guy out to the outside hospital for whatever reason and then brought him back and put him in isolation. And on the 27th, they did a cell extraction for me. And I'm sitting there witnessing was part of it. Brought the young boy out named Clark, brought him out, butt naked, bloody, you understand, from in a wheelchair, and took him out the unit, you know. And because they sent me one, this was Lieutenant Wolf, this was spearheaded by Lieutenant Wolf and Sergeant Fry, claiming that, he was laying on the side of the floor on the bed, they couldn't see him or whatever, but his camera's in the cell, you know. But I'm just saying, like, we don't know what happened to him, etc. There's an incident that took place on August 11th, there's an incident August 19th, etc. Same thing with mental health, mentally challenged individuals and whatnot. So again, we need outside individuals and outside organizations and whatnot to put enough pressure and hold these people accountable, where there can be some type of independent investigation into these types of incidents. You know. And when you on the enemy target list or whatnot, I got into a situation where there was a fight provoked because they shoot here at so-called non-lethal rounds, which is rubber bullets and wood corks or whatnot to break up any type of fight or what have you. But as you know, rubber bullets and whatnot can do serious damage to individuals, especially shot in the face or shot in the head or whatnot. There's been instances where they didn't put people's eyes out and everything else, right? I'm on their target list. You know what I'm saying? And part of that, them type of scenarios, them was opportunities to get even and to get back, payback. So that's where dogs come in and everything else, right? And when there's no accountability or checks and balances in that regard, you know what I'm saying? You allowed to get away with that kind of shit without any accountability. So we need, so in terms of how people can help, we need that information to get out. We need that information to be circulated. And we need those people that are progressive attorneys or organizations or whatnot, or advocates that is willing to support us to come in and reach out and to try to get involved. You believe in law and justice and all that when it comes to punishing us, but you don't want to hold these same people accountable.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
As well as some of these people, you got COs that come in here, Sergeant Fry, CO Atkins, and a host of other phrases. You agitate, you harass, and you doing what you do. You understand, and there's no accountability, and you think that one afraid to speak on it because you whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I do, and I agree with you 110%.
And part of that too is like with my situation is that it's insulation in the sense that I'm not afraid to speak on certain abuses and human rights issues, especially when it applies to me. My thing is this: I don't bother you. I'm gonna stand up for us right, and I'm gonna stand up for principle. But if you pushing against me and you call yourself retaliating against me or whatever, all it's gonna do is make me push back.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's insulation. So what you're doing now and putting that out there and promoting that and whatnot, that's insulation. So go on, do what you do. All you can do is make me a martyr or make my family rich. Just let my struggle and let my contributions not be in vain.